Hey, welcome everybody. We are live here, day number 21 days of powerful breakthrough. Is God breaking through on you yet? Is there anything happening yet? I'm here today. You know him, you love him, you see him on the guitar, the 12 strings, not just six. Six aren't good enough for this guy. He's got 12. Dave Joy is here. Hey, so today's topic on our 21 days is all about waiting. Oh my gosh, waiting on the Lord and depending on Him, yielding to Him. Oh my gosh, this subject. This one hits hard because it's a hard one. This is not my strong suit. Being patient and waiting on God. I know, so it's a tough one. But it's a good one to think through. It's a good reminder. So as you read this through. My friend DJ, what kind of stood out to you? What leapt out to you about maybe what does it say about God, or what
it's something. I mean, it's something that I've always known. And the thing is that every time that I do slow down and wait on God, the things always work out better. But yet I still go back and do the same old thing all the time and not wait, try to push my will through and try to do it on my own. And it's the verse is a very good reminder to wait on God for He will bless you. I mean, He will take care of things. It's on His time, not mine.
It's not our natural tendency for the most part, is it, to wait? I mean, we want to make things happen. Our timetable is hardly ever God's timetable.
Nope.
In the devotion, the one line that stood out to me said, "This scripture is a great reminder that if you wait on Him, you will have a sense of peace and renewed strength." And I thought, man, that's not normally what I get when I'm waiting. Usually waiting gives me anxiety.
Yeah, it does.
But I think it's when I'm waiting and I'm depending on myself still. I think that's the struggle. This is all about depending on Him. I forgot I was gonna look that up. So, yeah. What else? What other things did you? Anything else stood out to you?
One thing that I do that I know is that when I get like that and I stop waiting on Him and depending on Him to bring me through circumstances or answer things that I need, that I start getting busier. I start doing, the more I run on my will, the further away I get from God. That's what I notice. And then I have to reel myself back in again and say, God, I need to be back close to You again and let You run the show, because I'm on my own means. It's not working. So
yeah, it's I think that all these verses here all have to do with this idea of there's our way of doing it, and then there's God's way. And it's the story of the fishermen. The fishermen had been fishing, they weren't catching anything. Jesus comes out, He says, "Hey, throw your net on the other side of the boat." And those guys had to be like, "What? It's the same water, Jesus." It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. What's the other side of the boat going to do? And then they haul in this, they're sinking the boat. They could barely, the nets are tearing. And I think it's just God's way of saying, like, listen, just follow my lead, follow my way. And that's really what we're all asking for during this 21 days, especially, is, all right, God, we could try to figure this out, what to do with a facility. We could try to figure this out, what to do with timing of things, but You show us Your way. We're listening. We're waiting,
Exactly. And it's kind of hard sometimes to know when to make a move. Is He telling you to make a move? Is He not telling us to make a move?
Yeah.
It's hard. That's hard for me. I want to do so many things on my own power that sometimes I try to step in sometimes, and it's not the right time.
Yeah, and I think that's the power of community, like being a part of a community like Lifeline is that that's where we're here to remind each other and be like, hey, like, can you imagine if the disciples on the boat, somebody says, "Jesus, why would you throw the net on the other side of the boat?" And somebody else is like, hey, just wait. He knows what He's talking about. Okay, pull me back. And that's I think what we do for each other. Like, hey, listen, don't forget, God's got this. His timing, His way, He'll figure this out. But that God, that He will direct. I think that's the thing. Mike was talking about this, the idea that we have not because we ask not. And I think we don't feel God's direction sometimes because we don't ask him, you know, and then we don't wait, you know. So what else? Anything that you learned about people? What do you think this says to us about people? Like, what should our response be in this, or anything?
Well, I think in relationships, because I thought a little bit about relationships too, and I think that it's again very hard to do sometimes, but you have to let people be people and let God come into the situation. Let God come into their midst, to your midst, and a lot of times, I mean, it could be, I'm not saying from arguments or something like that, but just in relationships overall, you have to let them be who they are and let God work in them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let God do his thing. And I think that's the big lesson. So I think for everybody today, this thing, again, there's a theme here that God is dependable, that God will answer, that God will provide. And I think the lesson here made for us today is really focus on being patient. And it's one of my worst qualities is I'm impatient, you know.
Yeah.
And I hate waiting. But I've also learned is that God's timing is always the best. And if he says throw on the other side of the boat, then we throw on the other side of the boat. You know, if he says get up and walk, let's get up and walk. And otherwise, we're just doomed to the same thing over and over. So thanks for being with us and sharing some of your thoughts here today, my friend. Looking
one
forward.
Last thing, yeah. One last thing though is what I think I've learned a lot from it though is, and I go through it every time when I do say that when I do wait on God that things are better and I feel better, and it's true. Is to start each day with some prayer and some conversation with God, and slow it down immediately and let him start working each day.
It's a good. That's a good word right there. That's a good word for everybody. So hope that let this kind of sink in for you today. Yeah. And thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you back here for day 6. Go get them, guys.